Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengal fan on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Repping the Bengals here. If you don't subscribe to this channel, please do so. It's all I ask. Coming from a channel where we had a couple thousand subscribers, and I'm trying to build this one up, so please do subscribe. Let's get right into it. I apologize for the delay. I've been swamped at work. I do a lot of tax work and stuff, so clearly it's a busy time for me. Let's get into the combine. No real surprises. It was really nice to see Burrow finally just come out and say, listen, I'll play for Cincinnati. It's 2 hours from my house. This whole thing was kind of manufactured by analysts, tabloid analysts like Mike Florio and Coward, who were just really pushing to make fake news, and it was really appalling. My props, I want to give out props to Mel Kiper, who basically said, what's with all this Bengal bashing? That's on my Twitter feed if you want to see it. Thank you so much. And Marcellus Wiley, who was the only analyst at the table he was sitting at, who basically said, what are you guys talking about? I mean, we're like 6th or 7th on playoff appearances in the last 10 years. I mean, he just went through and said, this is all not true, that everybody's saying that we're a bad team. So I just, props to those two guys, and then F you to all the tabloid analysts that push this fake agenda. With the combine, we had a couple injuries to Queen and Murray, but I've heard that the hamstring injuries were minor. So really hoping that one of those guys falls to us at 33. It happened on their second 40s that they tried to run, where they tweaked their hammies. But I've read that they're really minor. So really hoping that, like I said, Queen or Murray fall to us at 33. Let's get into some of the internal news that's been happening. Obviously, I've said all along we need to extend AJ Green. The team has said they're going to tag him. This is why we didn't trade him at the trade deadline. There's no reason to. This guy is a great locker room presence. We cannot make the mistake we made with Witt. We need to keep AJ here. The team clearly is going to do that. They're going to put the franchise tag on. Everything I'm reading is the one thing holding up a long-term deal is we don't know what the CBA is going to be like. So, but they'll go ahead and they'll tag him, and they'll have till July to get a long-term deal worked out. Burrow has pushed for keeping AJ around. We have a window, a 4-year window when we draft Burrow, where we're going to have an affordable quarterback for the next 4 years. Seattle made a lot of hay with Russell Wilson on his rookie contract. We need to do the same. So we need to extend Joe Mixon. We need to lock up AJ long-term and make sure those two guys are around Burrow for the next 4 years. We need to keep those pieces together. So hopefully that's what the team has in mind. Cordy Glenn. Cordy Glenn's going to get cut or traded. It doesn't help the trade stock that everybody on earth knows that we're going to cut him if we can't get a trade done. That doesn't help us. So hopefully a team maybe lower down on the waiver wire would or who doesn't want to get into a competition in free agency, maybe we could package him up. But Cordy Glenn's definitely on the move. It doesn't hurt me to see him go. Wall, he did improve our line when he showed up. I mean, this guy basically quit on his team. He had the same reputation when he was at Buffalo. This has nothing to do with the Bengals. This is all about Cordy Glenn being a piece of garbage. So hopefully we can trade him for something. If not, we'll release him. We'll free up the $9 million, and we can maybe use it to sign somebody in free agency. We'll get to that in a little bit. But that's the deal with Cordy Glenn. Andy Dalton is definitely going to be traded. Andy Dalton is going to be one of the more desired quarterbacks out there. I know there's a lot of quarterbacks, but Phillip Rivers is long in the tooth. Jameis Winston hasn't proven that he can get a team to the playoffs. Remember, Andy Dalton took this team to the playoffs 5 straight years, okay? That's why teams like New England and Indy, and now that I hear Nick Foles is on the market, Jacksonville becomes a viable option. I thought Jacksonville was a viable option when Gruden signed there, but he's a viable option. And Andy Dalton has a very favorable team-friendly contract. Friend Sam pointed out to me that the Bears are kind of handcuffed with cap space. So I don't know that they can afford to give much and pay much to Andy Dalton, but that's another place where he could land. If they don't improve from Mitchell Trubisky, they can ride the SSS Trubisky to the bottom of the ocean because he's a sinking ship. So we'll see what happens there. But Dalton's going to have some suitors. Would love maybe to package Glenn and Dalton up and send them off to a team and get a second rounder. This is a great draft coming up. One thing we saw at the Combine is it's a wide receiver rich draft. So I mean, we really have an opportunity here to get it. If we could pick up a second or a third, to really get a nice player in return for that. I'd love to see the second and maybe, like I said, package Glenn up with Dalton, but we'll see what happens. We cannot give Dalton away for anything less than a third. If we hold him and keep him, remember, he's only on contract for $17 million, which is very friendly for a starting quarterback. If we keep him, we can have him as insurance behind Burrow this year, and he could teach a lot to Burrow in terms of work ethic and stuff, because I've never had an issue with Andy Dalton as a person and his work ethic. So we could keep him, and we could get a third-round compensatory pick in 2022 when he hits the market in 2021 in free agency. So really can't let him go for anything less than a third, but we'll see how that plays out. We need to cut Drake or Patrick. We could pick up cap space there, use that in free agency. The team has said, and I see him at the 6-minute mark, so I'm going to wrap up soon. You know I don't keep you for more than 6 or 7 minutes. The team has said and implied that they're going to be more aggressive in free agency. I always say it on Twitter. You can go look at my feed. Don't tell me, show me. So show me. Go out, get Littleton and Schobert. Go out with the money you save on Glenn and get an offensive lineman before the draft. So when we draft an offensive lineman, we've got Jonah Williams, whoever we sign in free agency, and whoever we draft, infusing new talent into our line. So Mike Brown, Katie, Troy, don't tell me, show me. Duke Tobin, show me, okay? And with that, I'm going to wrap things up. Like I said, I only keep you for 6 or 7 minutes. Please subscribe. I'll try to get more videos up. I'm just really slammed at work right now. And I'm also trying to make arrangements to go to the draft. So I may have some draft footage. I've been talking to Ace Boogie and some other guys, and we're all trying to meet up at the draft this year. So hopefully we'll have some draft footage for you. More news on that to follow. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. And with that, I will say fuck Mike Brown until you sell the team, as I always sign off. And WhoDey, everybody. Have a good week.